When you saw your sister insinuated, she didn't say it, but she insinuated that you had something to do with Ronnie Doe, his death.
It's like a punch, a grab. Like she probably hit her.
Nobody expected the cops to release a statement this bold. Nobody expected the investigation to flip this fast. And nobody expected the truth about Ronnie Doe to take a turn this terrifying. Because according to law enforcement insiders who've stayed silent for weeks, the plan Chrisean Rock was allegedly attached to did not go the way it was supposed to. It wasn't meant to escalate, it wasn't meant to spiral, and it definitely wasn't meant to end in death. But that's exactly what happened. And now the cops are saying the part nobody wanted to hear. Ronnie wasn't supposed to die. Something went wrong. Those 6 words detonated across social media like a bomb. Instant, violent, unstoppable. Because if Ronnie wasn't meant to be killed, if this wasn't the intended outcome, if the plan shifted in the middle, then someone panicked, someone improvised, someone switched the blueprint at the last second. And the internet has one question. Who? The cops hinted, without naming names, that miscommunication inside the circle caused the entire operation to collapse. Miscommunication? Inside what circle? Who was involved? Who changed the original plan? And why is everybody silent except the police? Chrisean's camp isn't talking. The family isn't talking. The unnamed witnesses aren't talking. Even the people who normally live online, posting everything, suddenly vanished. But the cops didn't stop there. One investigator said this was supposed to be a scare tactic. Someone turned it into something else. A scare tactic. A warning. A staged moment that spiraled into a fatal outcome. And now the biggest twist? The cops claim they already know who switched the plan. But they haven't released the name yet. Get ready. Because what comes next won't just shift the narrative. It's going to expose the biggest betrayal inside Chrisean Rock's inner circle. Long before Ronnie Doe's death made headlines. Long before the police hinted at a plan gone wrong. Long before the internet erupted with theories about Chrisean Rock's involvement. There was already something off about the people Ronnie was surrounded by. His friends said it. His neighbor said it. Even his distant relatives whispered it. Ronnie wasn't living a stable life. He was living a life wrapped in distractions, tensions, and quiet, creeping danger that nobody could fully describe until it was too late. When Ronnie first started hanging around circles connected to Chrisean, people raised eyebrows. Not because of Chrisean herself, but because of the people around her. The chaotic energy, the confrontational personalities, the late-night phone calls, the unspoken rules, the strange loyalty tests that seemed more like traps than friendships. People said Ronnie walked into a world where alliances shifted every hour, where one misunderstanding could turn into a war, and where being too close to certain people meant inheriting enemies you never asked for. Ronnie wasn't built for that world, but he wanted to belong. He wanted to protect people he cared about. He wanted to feel like he mattered. That desire is what got him tangled. Because according to several insiders, people who knew Ronnie personally, he became the middleman in a situation he didn't understand. A situation where tensions were rising, emotions were heated, and certain people were trying to send a message. A message that was supposed to be loud, but not lethal. According to one person who spoke anonymously, Ronnie was being used. He thought he was helping. He thought he was stepping in for someone. He didn't know how deep things were. But the cops say the most chilling part. The plan wasn't supposed to involve blood. It wasn't supposed to escalate to violence. It was supposed to be a confrontation, a warning, orchestrated by people who thought they were in control. But the moment the plan started, everything went off script. The cops now believe multiple players were involved, each thinking they had the upper hand. The investigators noticed inconsistencies right away, different witness stories, messages deleted too quickly, cars seen leaving the area at strange times, and insiders suddenly going quiet after the first wave of questioning. Something wasn't adding up. And Ronnie, he was the one who paid the price for their confusion. But the question still burning through the internet is why Ronnie was involved at all, and how Chrisean's name got tied into the case. It didn't start with violence, it started with loyalty. Ronnie was known for being fiercely protective, especially toward women he felt were being mistreated, manipulated, or surrounded by fake love. People say he saw things in certain men that he didn't like. He saw manipulation. He saw greed. He saw emotional tactics being used behind closed doors. And Ronnie wasn't the type to stay silent when he felt someone he cared about was being played. And Chrisean, she was in one of the most emotionally unstable chapters of her entire life. Fights with Blueface, confusion about loyalty, conflicts with friends and family, legal drama, social media chaos. Ronnie felt like she was being pulled from every direction, manipulated by voices telling her contradictory stories, promising help they never delivered, encouraging her worst impulses, and feeding off her fame. So Ronnie stepped in, not as a fighter, not as a gang member, not as a problem, but as someone trying to protect Chrisean from the people he believed were using her. And that's where everything began. One insider said it clearly. He thought he was defending her. He didn't know he was walking into a setup. Because at the same time Ronnie was becoming protective over Chrisean, someone else in her circle didn't like it. Someone felt threatened. Someone didn't like Ronnie stepping into business that wasn't his. Someone felt Ronnie was becoming too close, too opinionated, too loyal. Someone wanted Ronnie to back off. So a plan was formed, a plan the cops believe started as a staged confrontation meant to scare Ronnie, make him back down, and send a message. Stay out of things that don't concern you, or face consequences. But here's where the background turns dark. Not everyone involved knew the same version of the plan. One group thought it was just intimidation. Another group thought it was a forced conversation. But one specific person, the one cops call the Switch, allegedly turned the entire situation violent behind everyone's back. This person wasn't supposed to be near Ronnie. This person wasn't supposed to confront him. This person wasn't even supposed to show up until after the scare was over. But they arrived early and they came angry and they came ready to prove something. The cops have 3 theories about why the switch happened. Theory 1, someone panicked. Someone thought Ronnie knew too much. Someone believed he was going to expose everything, including Chrisean's vulnerable moments, private conversations, and the inner drama of the circle. Theory 2, someone wanted Ronnie gone, not because of loyalty, but because Ronnie was blocking access to Chrisean. Someone felt replaced. Someone felt sidelined. Someone felt threatened. Theory 3, someone higher up gave a last-minute directive, a voice that wasn't even present at the scene, someone who had power over the people involved, someone the cops suspect was orchestrating everything from behind the scenes. Either way, the plan changed. And Ronnie wasn't meant to die, but once he did, that same circle scrambled to cover it up. Phones were wiped, witness stories were rehearsed, certain people disappeared for hours, one person allegedly left town, another person started posting random, unrelated content on social media to create distraction. But the cops weren't fooled. One officer said the story was too rehearsed, too perfect, too clean. That's how we knew it was a lie. And then Chrisean's name surfaced, not because she ordered anything, not because she planned anything. Not because she wanted harm, but because she was the emotional center of the conflict. Every person involved was tied to her relationships, her fights, her alliances, her secrets. She was the gravitational pull that dragged Ronnie into the situation. She was the name the police kept hearing. She was the connection every witness tried to avoid discussing. So the cops followed the threads. Phone logs, DMs, voice notes, group chats, deleted messages recovered from backups. And they found one chilling pattern. Every person involved in the confrontation had communicated with each other before the night Ronnie died, except Ronnie himself. He was the only one who didn't know a plan existed. He walked in blind, unprepared, protective, emotional, and someone switched the script. Someone turned a scare tactic into a fatal moment. Now, the cops say they know who made that switch, but they haven't released the name yet, because they claim this person is connected to something much larger than a street argument. The investigation into Ronnie Doe's death was supposed to be straightforward. That's what the public assumed. A fight gone wrong, miscommunication, another tragic moment in a chaotic environment. But the cops never believed the first version of the story, not for a second. Something about the scene didn't match the statements. Something about the way people reacted felt rehearsed. Something about the emotion, or lack of emotion, around Ronnie's death felt wrong. And then the police received their first real break. A witness came forward, a witness who wasn't supposed to be there, a witness the others didn't know about, a witness who saw the moment the plan made its deadly turn. And what this witness said changed everything. According to this witness, Ronnie wasn't yelling, he wasn't fighting, he wasn't trying to attack anyone. He was pleading, begging, confused, breathing too fast, trying to understand why people he thought were friends were cornering him. That detail hit the investigators hard because it didn't match the story multiple people tried to sell, that Ronnie was the aggressor, that he provoked something, that he was responsible for what happened. The witness said, he kept saying that Chrisean didn't ask for this. Why are y'all doing this? He thought he was protecting her. He didn't know there was another plan, a second version, a hidden directive. Someone with a different agenda had stepped in. And that someone, according to the witness, arrived late, after the initial confrontation was already happening, but immediately took control of the situation like they were the one in charge. The cops call this person the Switch because their arrival changed everything. Before the Switch walked in, things were tense but controlled. Ronnie was emotional but not violent. The confrontation was heated but not spiraling. It looked like the scare tactic the cops originally assumed it was supposed to be. But the moment the Switch appeared, the energy shifted instantly. The witness said, it was like everyone else backed up, like they respected him or feared him. He walked in like he owned the night. The Switch didn't raise his voice, didn't run, didn't panic, didn't hesitate. He stepped directly toward Ronnie and said one chilling line, "You were warned." Those two words froze the entire room because Ronnie had not been warned. Ronnie had not been told anything. Ronnie had not been included in any conflict. Ronnie had not been briefed on any plan. He walked into the situation blind, while the others knew exactly what was happening. But the Switch didn't care about the truth. He cared about control. And the second he stepped forward, he made a decision that nobody planned for, not even the people who set the scare tactic in motion. The witness continued. Ronnie backed up with his hands up. He didn't charge. He didn't move forward. He kept saying, "Bro, I'm not here for anything crazy. I'm here to talk." And the Switch said, "Nah, you're here because you crossed the line." What line? What boundary? Who claimed Ronnie crossed it? And why did the Switch feel he had the authority to punish him? The cops realized the key question wasn't why Ronnie ended up dead, but who benefited from him being gone. And the more they looked, the more the evidence pointed to the Switch. But that wasn't the only twist, because the witness also said something unbelievable. Chrisean didn't know the plan was changed. When she found out, she lost it. This meant Chrisean wasn't behind the escalation. She wasn't the mastermind. She wasn't the one who turned the scare tactic into a fatal moment. Someone else used her emotional chaos as the foundation for a plan she didn't authorize. And according to investigators, that someone is connected to her inner circle. Not necessarily a best friend, not necessarily a boyfriend, not necessarily a family member, but someone close enough to influence decisions and far enough to avoid responsibility. Police found deleted messages recovered from one of the phones involved, fragments of conversations that pointed to the real reason the plan existed. Ronnie got too close to information he shouldn't have known. Messages like, "Why did he say that? Who told him? He better keep his mouth shut. He's not supposed to be involved. Tell him to back off before it gets bad." The messages were vague, intentionally vague, but one phrase stood out in the recovered text. "Don't tell Chrisean." That meant the circle wanted Chrisean emotionally involved, but not informed, because if she knew the truth, She wouldn't have allowed any of this. The cops dug deeper. The switch's phone wasn't in the system. He used a secondary number, one only a few people knew. His social media activity went silent the night of Ronnie's death. He told people he was out of town, but geolocation from a recovered device proved he wasn't. And then came the first major twist. The police discovered that the switch had contacted two people right before Ronnie's confrontation. One message said, "He's not going to listen unless I show up." The second message said, "Don't interfere, let me handle it." That line made the investigators furious because it meant the death wasn't an accident. It meant the escalation wasn't random. It meant someone deliberately inserted themselves into the situation at the last second to change the outcome. But here's where everything shifts into darker territory, because the witness wasn't the only person who came forward. Another person, someone close to Chrisean, approached the police through a lawyer and said, Ronnie was protecting her from someone. The switch didn't like that. The switch thought Ronnie was too loyal. He thought Ronnie would expose something. Expose what? The lawyer wouldn't let them say it yet. But they did say this. Ronnie knew something about an incident that happened weeks earlier. Something involving the switch, not Chrisean. Police now believe Ronnie's loyalty threatened the switch's control, not Chrisean's safety. And that's when the second twist hit. The cops obtained a recording, a voice note Ronnie sent to someone the night before he died. In the recording, Ronnie said, "I'm telling you, something's not right. Someone's manipulating her. Someone's using her name to do things she doesn't know about. And if I speak on it, people are going to get mad." Police enhanced the audio, and they heard fear in Ronnie's voice. Ronnie wasn't scared for himself. He was scared for Chrisean. He said, "She don't see what he's doing. She trusts him too much." Him, the switch. The cops realized the case wasn't about jealousy or loyalty drama or street beef. It was about control. The switch wasn't protecting Chrisean. He was using her, and Ronnie became a threat to that control. The final twist of this section? The police have identified the switch, but they haven't released the name because he's tied to a major ongoing investigation involving other incidents. But they did release one chilling detail. The person who escalated the plan is someone the internet knows, meaning this isn't a random figure, this isn't a background character, this isn't a nameless associate, this is someone with a reputation, someone with a presence, someone who has been seen with Chrisean before, someone the fans recognize, someone the blogs have posted, someone who pretended to protect her while pulling strings behind her back. And according to the cops, he didn't mean to kill Ronnie, but he meant to silence him. The moment the cops announced that the switch was someone the internet already knows, everything changed. The blogs froze. The fan pages started digging. Group chats exploded. Reddit threads swarmed with speculation so intense that moderators had to lock posts within minutes. Because now this wasn't just a case. This was a betrayal from inside the public eye. Someone familiar, someone recognizable, someone the world thought they understood. But the cops didn't stop with hints. They dropped the first identifying clue, a partial description. A male individual, early to mid-20s, known to associate closely with Chrisean Rock's inner circle. That one line sent fans into hysteria. Because Chrisean's circle is small, chaotic, but small. And if the police were describing someone recognizable, it narrowed the possibilities instantly. Then came the second clue. A person who appeared in multiple online videos with her in the weeks before the incident. People started rewatching every clip, every vlog, every live stream, every behind-the-scenes moment, every background voice, every blurry figure walking past the camera, and the internet began whispering. But before they could connect the dots, the cops leaked one more detail, the one that truly detonated the investigation. The switch had an existing conflict with Ronnie Doe before the night of the incident. A conflict, a rivalry, a silent tension nobody talked about. This wasn't random, this wasn't sudden, this wasn't impulsive, this was personal. But what caused the conflict? What made the switch feel so threatened? Why did Ronnie's loyalty bother him that much? That answer came from someone nobody expected, a person extremely close to Chrisean who finally broke down and told the truth. Not on social media, not in a live stream, not in a messy rant. They told it privately to investigators. The police didn't release the full testimony, but they summarized it in one chilling sentence. The switch believed Ronnie was trying to pull Chrisean away from him. Suddenly, the entire narrative shifted. This wasn't about a secret plot. This wasn't about criminal intent. This wasn't about a grand conspiracy. This was jealousy mixed with control, territory, influence, power, possession. The switch wasn't protecting Chrisean. He thought he owned her. And Ronnie? He was getting too close, too honest, too aware of the manipulation happening around her. The insider who came forward told police, Ronnie saw the way he talked to her. He saw the way he controlled who she texted, who she went out with, who she answered calls from. Ronnie didn't like it. He felt like someone was isolating her. The switch didn't like being challenged. He didn't like being questioned. He didn't like someone interfering with the image of control he built around Chrisean. The insider continued, Ronnie was trying to protect her from him, and the switch wasn't going to let that happen. But the biggest reveal came when the insider explained why Ronnie suddenly became a threat. A week before Ronnie died, the switch and Ronnie had a private argument, an argument so intense it left Ronnie shaken. During that argument, Ronnie told someone afterward, he's not who he pretends to be, he's dangerous. That line was saved in a voice message. The police confirmed it. Ronnie knew, he saw something, he realized something. He understood the manipulation. And the switch must have sensed Ronnie's awareness because investigators recovered deleted texts sent from the switch's burner phone. He needs to back off. He's in the way. Handle this before it gets messy. The phrase, handle this, horrified investigators because it implied intention, premeditation, a decision made before the confrontation night. But the most shocking detail? The cops discovered the switch contacted someone the night of the incident, right before he showed up unexpectedly. The message said, he's talking again, I'll shut it down. Shut it down, not solve it, not talk to him, not calm things down, shut it down. When police recovered the message, it changed the classification of the investigation. What was originally considered manslaughter now looked like second-degree homicide. Someone didn't panic. Someone didn't snap. Someone saw an opportunity and took it. But the internet still didn't know the identity. People were guessing names. People were pointing fingers. People were making accusations based purely on vibes. And then the police released the next clue. The switch had access to Chrisean's home and vehicles. That eliminated half the guesses instantly. Uninvited guests don't have access to personal spaces. Only trusted individuals do. Then came the next bombshell. He was present during multiple altercations in Chrisean's life, often acting as a mediator, the calm one, the quiet one, the one who steps in when she's overwhelmed, the one who speaks for her when she's emotional. And suddenly the internet realized this wasn't some loud, reckless friend. This wasn't the aggressive one in the group. This wasn't the person causing chaos. It was the one who pretended to be the voice of reason. The switch wasn't the guy who threw punches, he was the guy who told others when to throw them. The internet went feral. Then the cops dropped the most important clue of all. The switch contacted Chrisean moments after the incident, not to tell her what happened, but to tell her what to say. The official statement called it attempted narrative management. Narrative management didn't happen out of guilt. It happened because he knew the story would fall apart if people talked too freely. He knew the cops would question who initiated the confrontation. He knew Ronnie wasn't the aggressor. He knew Chrisean wasn't the mastermind. The switch had to act fast because the moment people realized Ronnie was protecting Chrisean from him, everything collapsed. And then the second witness came forward, someone who knew the switch personally. They told police, He always wanted to be the one closest to her. Anyone else who got too close, he pushed them out. And that was when the true motive finally emerged. The Switch saw Ronnie as competition, not for fame, not for clout, not for money, for influence over Chrisean. The Switch needed control. Ronnie made her feel safe. Ronnie made her think clearly. Ronnie made her question the people around her. The Switch couldn't have that. The witness said he thought Ronnie was replacing him, and he wasn't going to let that happen. But the final reveal of the section? The police now possess a partial video of the confrontation. A neighbor's security camera caught it, not fully, but enough. Enough to show the Switch arriving, enough to show everyone stepping back, enough to show Ronnie's hands up, enough to show the moment the Switch stepped forward and the camera cuts off right before the fatal moment. But that clip was enough to confirm Ronnie wasn't attacking. Ronnie wasn't charging. Ronnie wasn't threatening. The Switch initiated everything, and the cops ended the press leak with one sentence. We will release his identity soon, but the public should prepare. This is someone they trust. The moment police revealed that the Switch was someone, the entire internet detonated. No one slept. No one logged off. Fan pages turned into forensic labs. TikTok became a crime scene. Twitter turned into a war zone. YouTube live streams ran for 9 hours straight with creators trying to decode every single clue the police leaked. People weren't just following the case anymore. They were invested. Emotionally, aggressively, obsessively. The blogs moved like vultures. Reddit turned into a digital riot. Instagram went into detective mode. And everyone was asking the same thing. Who the hell is the Switch? The first wave of reactions hit TikTok. Creators started posting slow-motion replays of every single person who appeared next to Chrisean in the last 6 months. They were zooming in on hands, analyzing body language, reviewing facial tension, matching silhouettes. They were pulling up freeze frames like FBI technicians. One viral TikTok with 4.8 million views said, "Look at this clip. Look at the way he stands behind her. Look how he tries to answer questions for her. Look how he's always one step ahead, watching her reactions. That's control." The comments blew up. "OMG, I know exactly who you're talking about. Wait, is this him? Was he around Ronnie too? I don't like this. This is scary. Wow, this matches everything the police said." Twitter wasn't any calmer. It turned into a full-on hashtag war. Who is the Switch? Justice for Ronnie. Chrisean's circle. He wasn't supposed to die. Protect. Chrisean. Drop his name. But then someone accidentally leaked a clue that wasn't supposed to be public. A well-known celebrity, someone who previously worked with Chrisean, tweeted, "I can't believe he was involved. The initials SM shocked me." The tweet was deleted in 48 seconds. But the screenshots? They spread like wildfire. Every platform caught fire. SM? Who the hell is SM? OMG, I knew it was him. Stop. That makes too much sense. He was everywhere and we didn't see it. SM was always around her. Blogs ran the story instantly, even though they couldn't legally confirm the initials. One blog wrote, "A source close to the investigation claims the Switch's initials are SM. If true, the internet already knows this individual." People lost their minds, but while the internet was rioting, something even bigger was happening. Celebrities began chiming in. A rapper tweeted, "She needs to cut certain people off. This is manipulation, straight manipulation." A well-known female artist said, "I always felt bad energy from one dude around her." Another celebrity who had done a show with Chrisean wrote, "I told Ronnie he was right about that guy. I told him to be careful." Wait, what? They were talking about the Switch before Ronnie's death? That tweet alone sent the internet into a frenzy. Ronnie knew? So celebrities knew too. This is so much deeper than we thought. But then the next twist hit. Fans uncovered an old clip where Ronnie side-eyes someone behind the camera after Chrisean walks off. Ronnie's expression in that clip, uneasy, tense, shaky, went viral. He didn't trust the person filming, and now fans were convinced that person was SM. People posted, "Look at the way Ronnie stares at him." He knew something was off. This man had control issues from day one. Bro was watching Chrisean like she was property. Meanwhile, music industry insiders began leaking information anonymously. One insider posted privately, "SM is known for being obsessive." People warned her about him. Nobody listened. Another wrote, "He acted like her handler. The dude controlled who could even talk to her." A third insider claimed SM was jealous of Ronnie. Everyone knew it. And then the biggest storm hit. A podcast host who is known for never holding back went live at 2 a.m. and said, "I know exactly who SM is. I've seen him argue with Ronnie in person. I've seen him flip when Chrisean gave attention to anybody else. If the police confirm the name I'm thinking, this entire case makes sense." The comments exploded. "Say the name. Stop hiding it. Tell us who. The internet deserves to know." But the podcast host refused, probably because their legal team was texting them nonstop in the background. At the same time, a source close to the police leaked a terrifying detail. SM tried to talk to police already, but his story didn't match the recovered audio logs. He went to the police, he tried to explain himself, but his story didn't match the evidence. That one detail changed everything, because people who are innocent don't try to rewrite timelines. People who are innocent don't try to manage narratives. People who are innocent don't panic like that, especially when they weren't even supposed to be there. And then the wildest moment hit the entire internet at once. A live stream went through every single person named SM who has appeared near Chrisean. Friends, associates, background figures, team members, and suddenly stopped mid-sentence. He said, "Oh my God, y'all, look at this clip." He played a video of Chrisean from months before Ronnie's death, where she was arguing with someone off camera. She kept saying, "I'm grown. Stop talking to me like I'm your kid." A man's voice responded, "You don't listen unless someone checks you," the internet screamed. Because that voice, it matched the tone the witness described. Calm, low, domineering, acting like he had authority, acting like he was the one managing her. People started posting, "That's him. SM is done. This is exactly the type of person who would feel threatened by Ronnie. I knew he had issues. He was always controlling her." But the reactions didn't stop there. A major gossip outlet dropped a statement. A close source claims SM has fled the city temporarily after police announced their next steps. He left? He ran? People went wild. Why is he running? Only guilty people flee. He knows his name is about to drop. He's scared of what the cops found. But the most chilling reaction came from inside Chrisean's own camp. Someone close to her wrote anonymously, "She doesn't want to believe it, but deep down she knows SM crossed a line. She's crying nonstop. She feels betrayed." This wasn't drama anymore. This wasn't speculation. This wasn't content for blogs. This was real. It was emotional. It was devastating. Because Chrisean trusted SM, she believed he had her back. And now the world believes he manipulated her and silenced Ronnie permanently. And then the final public reaction of the night came from the police spokesperson. He said, "We will be releasing critical information soon, including a statement regarding the identity of the switch." The world froze, the internet froze, SM froze, and every fan watching felt their heart stop. The police press conference wasn't supposed to reveal anything big. It was supposed to be routine. A status update, a reminder that the investigation was still active, a polite, "We're working on it." That's how these conferences usually go. But tonight, something slipped. And when it slipped, the entire internet stopped breathing. The press conference began calmly. Officers lined up, cameras flashed, reporters typed quickly. Everyone expected the same generic phrases. "We are continuing to look at evidence. We ask the public for patience. We have no further comment." But then the lead investigator, the one who's been the face of this case from the start, stepped up to the mic with a look on his face that wasn't calm at all. He looked tired, angry, frustrated, like someone who had just argued behind the scenes before walking on stage. And his voice cracked one time before he composed himself. That was the first sign that something was different. He began with formality. At this time, we have identified a central figure in the escalation of the incident involving Ronnie Doe. But then he leaned toward the microphone and said a line that sent the internet into a full blackout. This individual, whom we will refer to as Mr., he stopped, mid-word. Eyes widened. It was clear he caught himself too late. Reporters leaned forward instantly like predators. What did you say? Mr. WHO? Did you just confirm the suspect is male? Did you almost say his name? The officer tried to recover. I cannot reveal the full name at this moment. But the damage was already done because the syllable he let slip was soft, but recognizable. Tss. Everyone heard it. Every mic picked it up. Livs transcribed it. Clips went viral within seconds. The switch's first name starts with S, just like the celebrity tweet leaked, just like the internet suspected. This wasn't just rumor anymore. This was confirmation. The internet lost its mind, but the chaos didn't stop there, because after the officer slipped, another reporter asked, is the suspect someone who has appeared in public with Chrisean Rock in the last year? The officer hesitated too long, and in that silence, he blinked. That one blink was enough. The internet exploded. It's him. OMG, it really is him. SM confirmed. I knew it. This is crazy. He was right there the whole time. Ronnie was right. Ronnie saw it. The officer tried to move on, but reporters kept hammering. Is his last name publicly known? Has he posted online since the incident? Is he one of her associates? Does his name begin with SM? The officer slammed the mic. We will not reveal further information at this time, but reporters had already picked up the scent. And then the second accidental reveal happened, the one nobody expected. Toward the end of the conference, another official walked up and whispered something into the lead investigator's ear. The mic picked it up just enough. A soft whisper, barely audible, but the internet hears everything. The whispered line was how his mother keeps calling. His mother. Meaning the switch wasn't a shadow figure. He wasn't an old gangster. He wasn't a hidden mastermind. He was a young man. Someone with a mother worried about him. Someone whose family knows he's in trouble. Someone whose disappearance is now becoming suspicious to the police. But then the final blow hit. A reporter shouted, is the suspect fleeing the city? The investigator's eyes darted sideways, a split-second micro-reaction. He didn't say yes, he didn't say no, he said, he is not currently in local custody. That was enough. That meant he wasn't home. He wasn't with lawyers. He wasn't cooperating. He was gone. The internet exploded. SM is running. Bro fled. That screams guilt. He knows what he did. Ronnie's case is about to blow open, but the real twist was still coming. And it didn't come from the cops. It came from someone close to the case. A family friend of Ronnie went live on Instagram, crying, not sobbing, but shaking, and said, Ronnie told me the name before he died. He told me, if anything happens to me, it's because of They cut the live stream immediately. People clipped the moment instantly. Millions of views, millions of comments, millions of goosebumps. Ronnie knew. Ronnie saw the truth. Ronnie tried to warn someone. Ronnie predicted his own danger. Chrisean's reaction leaked next. One insider said she broke down screaming, I trusted him. Why would he do this? She refused to believe it, but deep down, she knew. The person she trusted, the person she confided in, the person she defended, the person she leaned on emotionally when everything else fell apart, was the person the police are now calling the switch. But the most chilling moment was saved for last. A reporter asked one final question as officers walked away. Is the suspect considered dangerous? The investigator turned back slowly and said, yes, not maybe, Not possibly. Not, we can't comment. Yes, and then he added, he has a history we are still uncovering.